All right, we've been covering this trial out of Jacksonville, Florida. The loud music trial is what they're calling it. Michael Dunn is accused of killing a teenager. He says it was self-defense, and this killing happened after an argument or during an argument over loud rap music. I want to bring in our legal analyst, defense attorney Brian Claypool, and CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson. Welcome to both of you. So, Michael Dunn is going to testify. But before he takes the stand, the lawyers are talking a lot to the judge, Joey. So what are their concerns?
Well, there's a number of concerns. What you want to do, Carol, in court, there's some things called motions in limine. What does that mean? It means you want to preclude certain evidence and you want to introduce certain evidence, and there needs to be limits on his testimony well, there doesn't need to be limits, Carol, but from a defense perspective, you want to be able to say, listen, he should be allowed to testify as to some things, and he shouldn't be allowed to testify as to others. Okay. I did hear the judge talk about the thug reference. I think that's going to play huge, and I think certainly in cross-examination, that should be a doozy. When the prosecution gets to him, they're going to make a lot of headway, in my view, on that issue, because beforehand he was talking about thug music. He has to explain that, Carol.
Yeah, and Brian, just to expound on what Joey is saying, Mr. Dunn's fiance took the stand, and when they pulled into that gas station and heard the loud music, he supposedly said to her, Michael Dunn said to his fiance, I hate that thug music. And then she went into the gas station to get a bottle of wine. There are also letters that Mr. Dunn wrote to his family from jail where he talked more about thug culture and thug music and how people had already made up their mind about him because he was a white man and the teenager killed was a black kid.
Well, Carol, that's right. And I think those letters that Mr. Dunn wrote from jail might come in on the rebuttal case. If Dunn takes the stand and says, hey, I was in reasonable fear for my life, because the prosecution is going to want to take the position that, wait a minute, this was a racially motivated killing. One point I wanted to make, though, I think it's crucial, is the fact that Dunn's lawyer was trying to get in this expert witness on acute stress syndrome, I think might have been an angle to not have Dunn testify. In other words, if the expert would have been able to come in and testify what Dunn was experiencing, the trauma he was experiencing, to try to show that he was in reasonable fear and that here's how he reacted to this situation, that might have then usurped having Dunn have to come in and to testify. So that was a huge loss for the defense.
Okay, well, we're still awaiting Michael Dunn to take the stand. I want to move on to a breaking story we have out of Chicago with Dan. But lots happening today.